Talking about those traveling abroad for a better life and immigration, we see that Ambazonian faction has been challenged after the TPS, the temporary protected status, seems to have been removed. In a critical blow to thousands of Cameroonians, including displaced Ambazonians, the United States government has announced the end of temporary protected status for nationals from both Cameroons. The protective measure, which allowed eligible Cameroonians to live and work in the United States legally due to the armed conflict and humanitarian crisis back at home, will officially expire June 7, 2025. The development has triggered alarm and concern among the Ambazonian diaspora and rights advocates, as many who fled the conflict now face an uncertain and potentially dangerous return to a homeland still ravaged by war, repression, and economic collapse under the Francophone-led government of La République du Cameroun. Reacting to the decision, Thibault, former United States Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, tweeted, "Cameroonians' temporary protected status TPS in the United States ends June 7th. On this issue, all Ambazonian faction leaders should unite if they want to try and extend it. They should engage United States officials together with all the hot-button global problems. Cameroon gets no attention." Now, while Naj call for unity is seen as a rational and timely suggestion given the stakes, it also exposes the deep-seated fractures within the Ambazonian liberation movement. Now, the push for a unified effort to lobby the United States officials has been met with cautious skepticism by many observers and activists on the ground. Now, as one prominent voice in the movement, Dr. Tita bluntly responded to the idea of unity, replying, "Please go and try mixing water and oil together, and once you get a proper mixture, we will get all the so-called leaders of the Ambazonian struggle together." Now, you see, the sharp metaphor reflects the core dilemma of the Ambazonian struggle, the inability to forge genuine unity due to the infiltration of pro-La République sympathizers and opportunists within the leadership space of the Ambazonian struggle. Now, over the years, various factions have emerged, some driven by power and ego, others allegedly backed by or even collaborating with La République proxies to confuse, derail, or delay the liberation movement. Now, as a result of this, many genuine liberation actors argue that calls for unity without ideological clarity or commitment to full decolonization only serve to weaken the cause. While coordinated lobbying for an extension of the temporary protected status could potentially offer relief to those at risk of deportation, the moral and strategic question remains: can true liberation actors align with groups whose actions or affiliations betray the struggle's very goal? The expiration of TPS, therefore, not only threatens lives but reopens the conversation about the cost of fragmentation in Ambazonia's leadership. At stake is not just a policy decision in Washington, but the fate of thousands who have already lost their homelands to war and now stand to lose their refuge. For many Ambazonians, especially those in exile, the challenge is twofold: surviving a hostile foreign policy shift and navigating a fractured movement that has yet to coalesce around a common and uncompromising goal: the total liberation of Ambazonia from colonial occupation. While still taking a look at Thibault's comment and the reply, looking at the state of the war in Ambazonia, we get to see, interestingly, that Thibault has been a staunch supporter of the Ambazonian struggle. Thibault just last year, the same time, says, "I support the right of Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians to determine their own future. Since the Yaoundé regime ended the agreed-to federation against the people's wishes, they should be able to decide. So far, Yaoundé has done nothing real to address their grievances." So it is no news that Thibault has been a staunch supporter of the self-determination of Ambazonia. But then there are other intricacies to look at when suggestions of unity come up, when it talks about suggestions of unity. As we've seen several times, the President Sako has mentioned time and time again, only unity of purpose is what is permissible when it comes to the struggle of Ambazonia.